many times what?
You're gonna be in the meeting.
I just started, it will go in, that's it.
Oh.
And I will wait when you
very,
finish.
very good B2. If you choose like 13, this is not a very good B2, somewhere in the middle. But one more time, just select, think about which room you can go to based on your, sorry, just give me a second.
Yeah, because they just, first 5 minutes, they get access.
Okay, so just estimate your English from 1 to 12 to 20 and think about where you can go. Okay, as usually the room 12 will be crowded. You can move in between rooms. So you can go to other rooms. You can visit all the rooms and stay in the room that you like. So, not a problem. If you come to a room and you see that there are many people, you can go to another room and check out another room. So, this is how it works. Okay, before we start, any questions? No.
Sorry, if I may, a question.
Yeah, sure.
So, about 20, the highest score for English, is it a proficiency or C1?
It is C1 because C1 is the latest level that we have. I was just showing on the screen that from 18, 19, and 20, this is C1.
Okay, thank you, great.
How to select the room? I will open it. I will open the rooms now. I haven't yet opened. Something else that I wanted to say before that. Yeah, please remember your questions. So meet your partners. How are you today? What is the weather like? Where you're coming from? How do you feel today? Why you are here? What is your goal in English? And what is going on in your life? What are you planning for the following several, weeks or days? I don't know, depending on what's going on. Okay, I will be hanging here and there, and now you can select the room. So now you're supposed to have a pop-up window where you can select the room. If you cannot select the room, you can let me know and I will put you in the room manually. Or you can just look for, it's kind of like a square, a little bit more squares inside. It usually pops up somewhere on the left. So you can press that button and you will see the list of groups. If you can't, let me know. I will put you manually in the room. Select your room. If you cannot select the room, let me know. I will help.
Hello. My level B1, and can you choose my room 8 or 9?
Yeah, sure. I will send you here. That's gonna work.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, somebody else who cannot select a room. What about the others? Guys, do you see the rooms? Оксана, Сергей, Станислав, Natalia, Evgeny, Victor, and MacBook Air, wherever you are. Have you selected the rooms? Why don't I hear the speaker? Sorry, can't help with that.
Can you help me?
1, 2, 2.
Victor, which room do you want to go to?
Sorry. Can you help me? My level A2. I don't.
You can hear. This is fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Oksana, which room do you want to go?
I would like to room with B2.
Okay, let me put you here.
Okay.
anywhere. Anything else?
I
think
it's Evgeny.
Oh, Evgeny. we have
I
3
disconnect.
minutes.
I disconnect because I turn on video or Zoom access, and so it's I disconnect. So I'm from Taganrog coastal region, and I live with my family. And I have
Sorry,
to
Tegeran.
Taganrog.
Ah,
Taganrog.
okay.
Taganrog coastal region. It's an interesting place, really. And today, really, it's maybe because the world really crazy. Medvedev burned. Yeah. So no, I have.
Василий, why did you go to Sweden? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Yes, why?
Because I don't stay in Russia. I go to Sweden and because my relatives lives here. It's just it.
Do you work in Switzerland, yes?
Sweden, yes.
Sweden.
I
Do you work? What is your work?
I'm journalist, editor.
And you work at home or in office?
At home. It's distance work.
Mm.
You video editor?
No, I'm
editor in journal.
yes, media.
Okay.
Yes, text media.
Okay. I'm just video editor, and I think
I'm motion designer.
Oh, I wanted to learn motion design, but
Okay, so everyone is back. Welcome back. Please mute your mics straight away. Good. So everyone is back. Hopefully you met your partners. Hopefully you had some nice time meeting your partner. Maybe you met somebody from your country. That's also possible, by the way. So before we move on, is there something that you want to share? Something interesting maybe that you learned? Some interesting person that you met? Somebody wants to share something with the others. Your emotions, impressions. No one. I see people smiling, which says that you have.
My roommates, teammates is quite interesting people, are quite big, interesting people.
Yeah, okay, good. Sergey sends a message to Serbia. Yeah, Serbia. It was a nice country to stay in, but I'm leaving next week, so bye, Serbia. Okay, somebody else. Share something.
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, if you just want to share something that you learned about your partners or something else, your emotions. Yeah.
We had a person named Svetlana in our room, and as we discovered, she is now living in Spain, and she says that there is a very pretty warm climate there.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I have to interrupt you here because what do you mean the Ararat Mountain is not in Armenia?
What?
In the chat, we have a comment.
He did not know it before.
One of the things in our room we discussed about Ararat Mountain and who it belongs to in some historical periods of time.
But I thought it's in Armenia. Isn't
No,
it?
it belongs to Turkey. Turkish people took it.
Okay, now everyone knows that I'm stupid. Okay, fine, that's still gonna work. Yeah, me neither. I didn't know that. Sorry.
People not stupid. People just don't have enough information.
Don't have enough time to care about information in the world. That's also true. Okay, good. Good, guys.
It's really a big pain for Armenian people.
But which country is that in?
Turkey.
Isn't it in Turkey?
Oh.
There are Ararat Mountain and Ararat Valley. So part of Ararat Valley or whole Ararat Valley are located in Armenia, as I remember from geography. But the mountain itself.
Now I know.
And its summit are not in Armenia, unfortunately.
Good to know. Okay, now I know. There is a person in the comments asking, could you add more rooms next time? 5-6 people are too much. 5-6 people are perfectly fine. If you please, this is just a reminder that you can move in between rooms. So if you think that there are too many people in your room, if you don't like your partners, if they're all terrible people and you don't want to talk to them, you can go to another room. Because I see people smiling. So these are people from like terrible rooms. So if you don't like your room, you can go to the next one. There are some rooms where I had like 8 people and there are some rooms when I had like 3 people. So you can move in between rooms to search for the group that you like. Just don't search for too long. Okay. So guys, let's move on. And only good guys go to our class. Sergey, which group were you? I'm going to come there, so I'm the first bad person. Okay, I feel bad now. I don't know where Ararat is, so yeah, I feel bad about that. Good. Okay, guys, anyways, we're going to talk about pollution today. Air pollution and water pollution in the overall environment. Usually for the speaking club, we're bringing some vocabulary, so you can expand your vocabulary. After that, I will send you back to the rooms and you will discuss the questions so you can use this vocabulary straight away, so you can practice this vocabulary. So I'm sending it in the chat, but please make sure that you copy the words if you need them, because when I send you to the groups, they will disappear. So please copy the words if you need them, and if you don't, we're now going to go through them. I'm going to ask you for some concepts. So make sure that you know these words because they're all closely related to environment, environmental protection, and nature. Good, let's go. First of all, there are several verbs: to respect the environment, to harm the environment, to pollute the environment. I hope you know them. And then we have the damage. We have damage to the environment, effect on the environment, a threat to the environment, and in harmony with the environment. These small pieces are very important, so that's why I want you to use now these expressions when you're going to talk about the environment. Okay, air quality. I hope everyone understands what that is. Alternative energy sources. What is that?
It's green energy sources.
Green energy. What is that? I mean, what sources are green?
It's like energy from sun, water, and
water power. Yeah, wind.
Nuclear power.
Nuclear.
No, it's not.
Nuclear, it's green power.
Nuclear is not
European authorities now name nuclear power like green power.
Green power? Maybe alternative?
Yes, since last year it is green power now.
But there is difference between green and alternative. So green is like good for the environment, and alternative is alternative to the traditional, and nuclear is nuclear.
Yeah.
Nuclear is supposed to be traditional.
They had very few alternatives to it, so they named.
Okay. You will kill your partners in the small rooms when you're going to be discussing that. Okay, so this is a topic to discuss. Good. Biodegradable. What is that?
What?
Biodegradable. I'm following the words so you can see the next one. Biodegradable.
I don't know.
It means that this substance could degrade in the natural environment, like in the ground, for example. You don't need to under natural conditions, like room temperature.
Degrading in the soil, yeah?
Consumed by bacteria, by some organisms.
Not necessarily, by bacteria, yeah. So this is something that can go that can become very small, like, come into very small pieces that just disappear in the soil naturally. Okay, so now it is very good to have a lot of biodegradable things. Like we have plastic bags are not biodegradable, so we're looking for alternatives. Good. Biodiversity, do we understand
There's a kind of biodegradable plastic.
Yes, there is now biodegradable plastic.
Yeah, that's
lactic acid.
Okay, guys, you know a lot about this topic. I don't. So if I fuck up, like I just did the same with Armenia, just let me know. Okay, good. Biodiversity. Everyone
It means
understands.
there are a lot of animals and plants. Diversity.
A lot of types of animals.
Yeah,
a lot of species.
It's a diversity of species in an ecosystem.
Yeah, an ecosystem. Good. Okay, carbon dioxide.
CO2.
Gas and lemonade.
It's what we blow out.
CO2. Yes, this bad gas that we're trying to fight against.
It's not bad.
It's
about the quantity, not just the gas itself.
That's a good point.
For plants.
That's a good point.
for any organic actually.
Okay, chemicals and fertilizers.
Fertilizers, substances that help
chemical substances.
Yeah.
Substances for
grow.
usually plants. Or I don't know, for vegetables or something. Okay, contaminate, and from here contaminated.
Undesired additives, chemical additives usually.
No, it's pollution by something.
Polluted, but
It's polluted.
Active pollution.
Polluted to the point where it's toxic. So it's not just polluted. So the air can be polluted and can be contaminated. So contaminated is much, much worse.
And sorry to interrupt, but actually there is it's not, at least to my knowledge, it's not the correct definition of contamination. Maybe it's changed, because contamination, to my knowledge, is just an excess of a substance, for example, in the environment. It could lead to pollution, or may not. It's just an excess.
I'm sure that there is a lot of definitions that you can find, but contaminate and contaminated, this is already about some particles that are present.
It's really something very dangerous. It depends on what is contaminated. So it may be area contaminated, or it may be some bottle of very contaminated water. And then when you spill this water, you contaminate the area.
That's a very good description. Good. Okay, climate change. I hope we're clear on that. Clean energy, same with green energy. Carbon footprints. This is interesting. Who can explain what that is?
It's consequences which people make by using new technologies, by polluting the air, water, and soil.
It's an amount of CO2 that you produce on daily basis by doing literally anything from your activity, by how much electrical power you use, how much waste you produce, how much food you consume. Essentially, it's the amount of CO2 that you produce as an individual. If it's an individual carbon footprint.
There is a very interesting test on the internet. You can calculate how much. Do you know that?
I'm sorry, please. It's just about CO2. It's just a story about how many CO2 you produce per day.
Yeah, very good. In your daily activities, if you use a car, if you use something else, so there is a test on the internet. You can see how huge your carbon footprint is based on your daily activities. Good. Okay, crude oil.
Crude?
Crude.
It's the raw oil, unrefined
raw
oil.
Good, raw oil. Deforestation.
It's
lack of forest.
Lack of forest.
It's cutting the forest.
Cutting the forest, chopping the forest. Good. The process of.
It's not necessarily just cutting, guys. It's the process of forest disappearance, for example, due to climate change.
Can you continue with the words?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just I'm an ecologist, and some of this stuff more closer to me. I mean, it's not just directly to cutting. It's because of any reasons or all of them.
Yeah, you cannot basically cut a tree. You can chop a tree. So this is the best thing. But yeah, sorry, we're talking. I'm not an ecologist. I'm a humanitarian worker. Just to let everyone know. So I can like I'm not sometimes very good at explaining some things. So I'm trying to make it the level when everyone understands what we're talking about. Okay, so this is not an ecology clause, just for everyone.
No, yeah, I understand. It's just trees are not necessarily cut. They just die, for example, from when there is dry seasons naturally.
We have the next word, which is extinct. What is extinct?
When some species disappear.
About species when they disappear. Emissions.
It's what the gases or what it's thrown into the air from the factories after the production.
Or usually also
maybe from cars.
Cars, good. Okay, fossil fuel.
Fuels that we extract from
coal is used in the factory to produce energy.
Coal, good. This is something that we get from nature, actually. Good. Greenhouse gas. I guess that goes back to the greenhouse effect. Who can explain that?
I think it's CO2, which increases the temperature around the Earth and creates this kind of layer which protects the planet from ozone reaching the planet. So, in fact, we have more and more temperature inside this small area, which is covered by the CO2. I'm pretty sure Zoya can explain it better because she's
a very good explanation. That's very accurate.
It's a good explanation. It's just not only CO2. It's any gas that contribute to greenhouse effect. Methane, for example.
Containing
what you know that actually the strongest gas, if we can say that creates greenhouse effect, is water vapor. But it's just the amount of water, usually it's stable, it's just CO2 is increasing and increasing, which is why we have it like accelerating greenhouse effect.
Okay, everyone, raise your hand if you feel stupid. Is that only me? Okay, I'm not. Thank you guys.
I feel educated, not stupid.
This is a good point. This is how you look at the things. Good. Okay, the next word is actually not the word. The expression is actually mine because that's about social system. Green taxes.
These are additional money companies have to pay in accordance with the new ESG agenda.
Very good. Okay, so yeah, that usually is placed on companies, on organizations that they have to. Good. Okay.
Mostly it's actually lobby money. They just pay to pretend they are part of this green agenda. Just they want to get into the market. So it's actually just another way of bribing the officials and politicians.
That's true. Okay. Good. Habitat.
It's a place where you live or some species live.
Yeah. Good. Irrigation.
In previous. You can name these things greenwashing, about green taxes using in the wrong way.
That's interesting. Technically, yeah, why not? Good. Let's go back to irrigation systems.
It's systems to supply water when it is lack of it.
To supply water. Good. Okay, loss of habitat. Back to habitat. Loss of habitat. We can have loss of habitat.
Destruction of habitat.
It's mostly for animals, like deforestation is an example of loss of habitat.
When animals don't have any place anymore to live in because their area is destroyed. Good. Okay, pollution, pollutant. Any questions here? I think we're not going to stop here. Everyone knows what that is. Good. Power station. I also think clear. Renewable energy. Also, I guess that's close to green energy or maybe not, but okay. Good. Recycling effort. This is good. This is interesting. Recycling efforts.
Some regulations to organize waste
recycle
household waste, and only household waste.
It's
collecting.
attempt to use waste
Reusable material.
for more time.
Okay, yeah, but this is about effort. So this is usually about countries. So, or governments or whatever, they have to make the effort. They have to make this recycling effort. So they have to put the effort into building the system of recycling. So that's why. I mean, recycling, you know the word. Okay, here we have the next one, recycle waste. That's good. Landfills.
It's a place where you dump waste and it just stays there.
Yeah.
Until it decomposes.
Use those places with waste.
Yeah, you just place there everything that you don't need anymore. This is that. Good. Okay, solar energy, solar panels. Hopefully this is clear. Waste is also clear. I don't know why it's here for the second time. Households and industrial waste. What is the difference?
Household, it's a waste which we produce in our houses by ourselves. And industrials are which are produced by factories, you know?
Okay, yeah, pretty close. Pretty close. I mean, exactly. This is the way it is. Good. Could degrade by themselves. Okay, Timothy is sleeping. Good. I don't know why I'm reading the comments, but there is just something going on, which is good. Good. Guys, speaking of the words, thank you so much for helping me explain, because as I said, like, I'm not a professional in that, but this is what I need from you to be able to operate at least at the basic level with some words and some expressions that are related to the topic. Okay, so like, well, I'm not a professional, but still I have my opinion about, I don't know, the biodiversity on the planet, and I can express it. So this is what I want you to do. Please copy the words, because you will need them. Now, when I'm going to send you to the rooms, your task is going to be to answer the questions using these words as much as you can. So I don't want it just to be like, oh, we went through the words and that's it. Please use the words now when we talk about the environment. And to talk about the environment, I have some questions for you. I'm going to send them also to the chat. And I mean in Telegram, here in the chat, but they will disappear. And in Telegram under the last post. So here they are. There are a lot of questions, so it is up to you which ones do you want to discuss with your partners. If you are A2, you can choose the simplest questions. If you're an ecologist, you can fight with another ecologist here if you find some other ecologist. So I mean, it depends on what you want to discuss. Okay, if you don't know anything about air pollution, you can go like very, very in the, like on the surface. If you know some things, you can really have a discussion. So what problems exist? Why is it dangerous to pollute the planet? Super simple question. Why is it harmful to throw chemicals? How can we protect the environment? How can people reduce the way that they affect? Why should we reuse and recycle things? Super stupid question. Why do you take part in the cleaning of parks and forests? What are the basic causes? This is interesting. The causes of the pollution, sometimes very good to review and to see if you know all the causes, because there is a ton of them. What can you do yourself on the individual level to prevent pollution? Why should we recycle? Do you recycle anything yourself? And how? If you know, share with us. What's the most polluted country of the world? What's the most polluted country of the world? I don't know. China.
India, maybe.
China or India.
Maybe world
I guess that's a small country.
No, it's Philippines.
Not country, but
Philippines.
ocean.
Yes, I've read, maybe not pollution, but it's the most country which with the wasting.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know at all. So that's good. If you know, you can like, look, we can learn from each other, right? Good. What is what is greenhouse effect? Good. So there is a list of random questions. So you can select those that you like and discuss those that you like. But please use the expressions. Okay, I expected somebody to say Serbia, because Serbians behave like their country is the worst. It's not though, but they behave the way it is. So yeah, Serbia. Good. Okay, so any questions about the question? Any questions about the questions? No. Then I'm gonna create the same number of rooms. It's gonna be 20 rooms again. You can go back to your room if you liked your partners. If you didn't like them, if they're terrible people and you don't want to see them anymore, you can go to another group. Again, if you have a feeling that you had too many people in your group, you can try to choose another one. If you feel that it was too easy, go to the group that is like of a bigger number. If vice versa, if it was too simple, you can go to the group that is a little bit of the lower level. Okay, so any questions? No. We're gonna have 20 minutes for that, or maybe even more. Let's see how it goes. I guess from 10. Okay, guys, what are you? Whatever. Okay, let's go. If you cannot join the group yourself, let me know. I will put you in a group manually. Did I open the groups? I did, hopefully. Very hard level for me. Yeah, just please make sure that you know which level you are so you can select the group where you feel comfortable and your partners also feel comfortable. That's not only about you, that's also about your partners. They also should be comfortable working with you. Life is hard.
I want to get in 9.
Room 9?
9, yeah.
Okay, fine. What about the
Okay,
others?
thank you.
Should I put you also as well manually, people?
Yep. So, what are your preferences? We can pick up whatever.
What environmental problems? I suppose the main problem is the people and
well, which are efficient.
I think the question implies that green sources are not efficient.
Not yet. The technology is still underway. It's not perfect. It's the amount of energy you get from using green energy sources, renewable energy sources, is not even comparable to traditional energy sources. In the future, probably it will be better. It will get better, so we'll be able to get more energy per resources spent to get this energy. But currently, it's much easier to just collect all this dirty coal from some mines and just burn it down and get the energy from boiling the water. So basically, it's easier to do dirty energy rather than clean energy, at least for now. And the problem is many countries have this old infrastructure. So we need to transition from the old infrastructure to dismantle, to demolish it completely and build new infrastructure. You cannot just substitute old ways with new ways. You have to build new infrastructure. And many countries do not want to go there. They would like to use it, but they don't want to be the first one to take the step.
I think that question is not only in the how hard it will be to replace this infrastructure, but it also an established industry that has a lot of money, and of course those people wouldn't give this power to anyone easily. So.
I think that efficiency, the question of efficiency, is very case specific. It depends on the scale. For example, for individual household, in some conditions, for example, in an environment with a lot of sun or a lot of wind, for example, just one solar panel, a couple of solar panels on the roof could be enough, quite efficient, to provide electricity for this particular house. Also, like if we think, for example, about tide wave energy, as far as I remember, Puerto Rico is a country that currently provides up to 25% of its energy from tide waves. So I think it depends on the particular case, but of course, on like generally globally, it's still very hard to provide a lot of energy through alternative sources.
Excuse me, Zoe, do you have any like exact technical data for this solar panel? Because I'm a little bit confused. I'm not sure that what you said, like one panel is enough for like what, one person?
No, not one panel, maybe a couple of panels. I think about Elon Musk and how he usually, advertise his solar panels and how efficient they are. I don't know what's happening with his solar city project, because how it was supposed to be is that you install these solar panels as a roof tiles, and it would be enough to provide
at least
your whole house.
At least in Massachusetts, they trying to find out, they trying to reimburse you some kind of costs for living and for electricity, but technically it's no more than 10%. So you spend like, I don't know, like $200,000 just to buy this fucking panel, and technically I don't know when you're supposed to reimburse them. I guess in the next 15 years. And
I see. So it's another vaporware from Elon Musk.
It's another Tesla who just ripping people off.
Yeah, but at least Tesla works, and it seems that Solar City don't.
When you say Tesla works, are you talking about the cars or just the company?
Yes, the cars.
Some cars, I mean, because I see these cars all over the Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and like New York. I'm not really sure that they work. I mean, they're 100% green, electricity and so on. But there's some other problems. I mean, if you see how they construct it, it's a kind of aluminum stuff inside. So even if you hit the car to the like rear bumper on the speed of like 5 miles an hour, 5 kilometers an hour, I mean, the insurance company don't pay for this stuff. It's about like $40,000 to fix this little stuff. And can it be like 5 miles an hour? It's just like what? It's nothing. It's like you're parking in 5 miles an hour. And right now, insurance companies start, kind of rejecting all these insurance cases with the Tesla. So it's perfect. It drives fast. I mean, it's safe because the way how it's created. But there's so many internal problems with this kind of cars.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. I mean, Musk, he promised a lot of stuff. For one, this artificial intelligence as an autopilot years ago. But
he didn't promise about cheap insurance.
Yeah.
Or affordable insurance.
Quite ironic, because one of the selling points of this whole thing of Tesla is like it's so ecological. This electricity is much better for ecology than.
Yeah, and then you have all this lithium that you need to dump somewhere. From the batteries from that cars.
And this low maintainability and low repairability also contributes to this whole mess, I guess.
Yeah, so the reason, how do you balance this? The existing technology, which provides some energy at some cost, and new energy sources, which potentially can be better, but they cost way too much as of now, and they are not as efficient as these dirty energy production facilities, whatever. So how do you manage this balance? And how do you transition to the new infrastructure? Because I do agree that in some countries where you are exposed to the sun maybe 300 days per year, you can just install the solar panels, or maybe in Denmark, whatever, you can install this wind mills, which will be just generating wind energy, or maybe in some specific areas where you have very turbulent rivers, you can use this energy of water. But in most cases, it's not possible. You have to like harvest energy in one area and then transfer it to a different country anyway. So the question is, how do you balance all this old ways with the new ways, and how do you transition to the new infrastructure? Or maybe you come up with something else. People say that atomic energy, nuclear energy is actually very good. It's just when it blows up, it's very bad. But as long as it works, it's very efficient.
With atomic energy, the problem also is wastes, radioactive wastes that are produced.
Well, suppose we could just go and bury it somewhere in space on the planets which are not inhabited and will never be. Will this solve the problem or not? Because obviously burying them in Novaya Zemlya is not a solution. But if you go and bury them in space on some planet, which is deserted anyway and is not used by anything, maybe it is a solution.
I suspect that at least at the moment and for the very near future, it would be prohibitively costly. You know, to just organize a space trip to dump some waste. It would be too expensive.
Sure, but what would be the alternative? So what do you do instead? Because as of now, atomic energy seems like the best, like the balance between what you spend and what you get.
No, I agree. There is at the moment there is not an ideal solution because you have to keep and securely keep these wastes somewhere on Earth, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the population, the world demands more and more energy every year. So we will need more and more sources for energy, and the consumption will only increase. It's not like it's going down, or it's not like it's cyclical. No, it's only going up.
Yeah, it's true. Probably just have to pray for nuclear fusion finally to come as a energy source.
Yeah, like cold fission, all this torsion waves and torsion fields.
No, actual nuclear fusion. You probably heard that. I think it was in December. Then what institute it was? Some U.S. laboratory. They successfully performed the first nuclear fusion reaction, stable nuclear fusion reaction. So,
fusion or fission?
Fusion. Fusion, of course.
Okay.
And maybe this will be an actual like milestone in this process of, you know, trying to develop a nuclear fusion as an energy source. Maybe in 20 years we'll finally get a nuclear fusion reactor, because it's really like a huge dream to have it. It would be a super clean and super effective energy, of course.
Yeah, they say
will it be safe?
Maybe.
I mean, maybe it's just as safe as nuclear fission reactor as that we do have at the moment. And there won't be definitely any radioactive wastes, at least dangerous. So let's see, maybe in a couple of decades.
National Ignition Facility at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California.
Yes.
LLML.
And I guess we don't have any options because of fossil fuel levels are gonna be exhausted pretty soon, I guess. I don't remember when. In 10 years?
No,
well, I think it's more about 100 years. It's not that soon.
Well, no, I doubt it. I really doubt it.
What are your estimates? Like thousands of years?
Well, maybe not thousands. I mean, again, of course, it depends on the consumption. But if we don't have oil, we have coal also. As far as I know, some countries, Germany has increased its coal consumption for energy because of gas problems. So, and gas itself as an energy source, natural gas. But yeah, it's a lot of contribution to the climate change.
Yeah, and also I think there is a very important anthropological aspect. The people who are in charge do not want to give away their power, despite whatever ways they come to power. Maybe they did it the right way, the wrong way, it doesn't really matter. Once they are in power, they want to stay in power until they die, as we can see. And the problem is people who have these old ways will not just go and suddenly decide, oh, let's just do new green ecology. They have this old, dirty factory working for them, producing money. Why would they care why would they even change it?
No, of course. Especially the dictators who run whole countries on this money coming from fossil fuels. They definitely wouldn't want it.
I actually checked the most polluted countries in the world, and obviously the most polluted cities include China and India, but I did not expect the most polluted country to be Bangladesh, followed by Kuwait, and followed by Chad. So Chad is actually an outlier here. Like, I did not expect an African country from the center of the African continent to be in the top 3, but for whatever reason, it's really not clean in Chad.
I would
What are the
expect
criteria?
Kuwait.
What?
What are the criteria of this?
Well, it says average average pollution rating, AQI data.
By area or something? By population? Or?
Maybe per capita, I'm not sure. Maybe per square meters, because Chad is a pretty small country, and China is obviously big. Maybe per square meter. I'm not sure.
I actually wouldn't expect Kuwait in this list. Isn't it like a really rich country?
Maybe because of the production, they have this oil refineries and they pollute the air. They produce a lot of oil, and as a consequence, they pollute the air.
But
because they are followed by United Arab Emirates, it ranks fourth.
Okay. So all this country in the this area, what's its name?
The Mediterranean area, Middle East.
Yeah, I mean Dubai, Saudi Arabia. So they
the Arabian Peninsula.
Yeah, in the same group. Oh, I see.
And followed by India, Iraq, Pakistan, Sudan, Bahrain. All these are oil countries.
Middle East, right?
Yeah, Middle East and oil countries.
I would actually expect that, given how much money they have, that they would be able to clean their air. Install proper facilities to deal with emissions. Strange.
Well,
circling back to people in power. Why do they care?
Yeah, why would
but they
care?
live there. I mean, they breathe air there.
They don't live in the areas.
They probably live like in their palace, and where they live, it's actually pretty good. But on the outskirts, they don't really care. And plus, maybe I think some people are changing. If you have some like young princes who are just going into this world of politics, they might actually do things in a different way, but they just maybe refurbish some new factories, and it's not enough to tilt the scales back. They just start doing this because we are looking at average, and average is not a very good indicator of the real situation. It's a good indicator to just get the general idea, but average does not tell the story. It just gives you a snapshot.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a city where you could actually see the smoke? Like you can actually go and see it. It's so dirty you can see it in the air.
No. Fortunately.
New Jersey.
New Jersey? Is it really dirty there?
All over the state, yeah. Like I was there yesterday. Like all the way from, when you pass in Washington Bridge in New York and you go to the Pennsylvania, to Trenton, all these first 30 miles, it's absolutely like trash all over. And you smell this. Looks like, have you ever been in Moscow in the, what is it? Marina.
Yeah, I've been there. I stayed at the hostel there.
Bratevsky prudy, so like the, how do they call it in Russian? I don't know. The поля фильтрации. So this same smell actually. So it's just even worse. I mean, all over they have these, gas stations and, these petroleum tanks all over the, Route 95 and Route 1, I guess. So it looks like all New York, I don't know, waste goes to New Jersey.
But is it only in the industrial area, or it's like even the household area?
Only industrial, because if you go to
Princeton,
like where the doctor house was kind of, composed or filmed, it's really clean. Like Princeton University, all these forests all over it's pretty much clean, the air and the quality of, I don't know, soil and, I don't know, the way. So some exact areas, I would say some exact counties of that little state. They call it Garden State. I don't know how many gardens there. Who knows? But yeah, this for me it's one of the biggest example in US. I couldn't tell you about most of the states, but this is the probably Brooklyn in sometimes, by the way. Maybe like north part of the Brooklyn, where the close to Manhattan and to the to the Hudson River.
When you mentioned these garden states, I actually remembered one important thing I think we forgot to mention when speaking about pollution, because a lot of pollution is caused by animals, by their let's say everyday activity. And when animals die, they also decompose, and this contributes a lot to the greenhouse effect, to this.
I don't believe in that. I guess it's
no. I actually read the statistics. It's a great contributor. I will just try to find it.
You mean like farm animals?
I mean like
chicken, cows, what?
Cows and all the animals. They produce a lot of CO2.
They produce a lot of methane, not CO2. I mean,
so
CO2 like
they
any
contribute
other.
to the greenhouse effect. What I wanted to say is that.
Yeah, but
how can we measure that?
Cows fart and they produce methane.
Yeah,
it's true. Actually, it's true.
It sounds
everybody
stupid,
farts.
Actually.
Yeah, but there are like really a lot of cows in the world, and they fart a lot.
Well, I guess animals has always been there. The question is balance. I guess we somehow disrupted it.
Yeah, because we created the farming industry with a lot of species that are not supposed to be as abundant and as they used to be previous times. Like there are not supposed to be as many cows in the world. They're supposed to be eaten by wolves or whatever.
Yeah, it says globally cows and other livestock animals are responsible for about 40% of methane emissions.
Yeah.
So that's a lot, like half of methane produced by cows.
And this is why now they say that
fallen decomposed leaves also contribute to this, but they
what
have
contribute?
always been there. Fallen leaves and decomposure of everything in the forest is also produces CO2 and methane.
Yeah, I think they produce, but I agree with Zoe here that it's unnatural that so many cows are concentrated in such small packed area, because we don't move trees closer to the home so that they produce more energy. We move cows to specific areas where they have a slaughterhouse nearby, and they are concentrated there. So that's one of the reasons cows produce more methane than they should have produced.
No, I agree.
Otherwise.
I don't have any questions about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously trees also produce methane. It's just not as prevalent in this greenhouse contribution.
But probably also should include all this methane when trying to take out this, oil, crude, and gas. When we have these shafts of coal, people usually die in there because of the methane. It's also there, right? It's like it's a natural.
Oh yeah, I guess yes. It's just obvious one. Meat industry is not as obvious, I guess. And,
here's a diagram.
Yeah, it was quite
greenhouse gas emission by economic sector. I think it's quite interesting.
Could you share it?
Yeah, I sent it in the chat.
Oh, great. It's just the amount of CO2 produced by oil and gas and coal is uncomparable to its methane amount. I mean, it's just much more CO2.
How do they get this data? I mean, is there any like research how they get in the data, how they collect the data, how they just monitoring like month by month, year by year?
Yeah, they monitor month by month, or sometimes some cases
They
probably on
used
daily
to say
basis.
about global warming for the last 10 years. I don't really believe in this fake.
You don't believe in global warming in general, or 10 years? What do you mean?
For what's going on for the last 15 years, they're telling us about the global warming, blah blah blah. The ice, like ice is melting, blah 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 in Antarctica and Arctica. Even though it's melt, I mean it was already melted like I don't know 1,000 years ago, like 1,000,000 years ago. So, but there was no humans and with no with no industries, with no pollutions and so on.
The difference is first that global warming is occurring, at least the current global warming, not in the last 15 years, but at least in the last 80 years, essentially since the start of industrial revolution, and the trends of increasing the temperature in coincidence with the increase of CO2 from like the beginning of the 20th century, and also the huge difference is that how quickly it occurs. Of course, there were multiple global warmings and ice ages previously, but they would occur extremely slow. And what is happening now is just unrecognizably, or maybe unusually quick. And this is why one of the reasons why most scientists, let's say, believe that it's man-made, because it's unprecedented in how quickly it's happening.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that if you take a look at the data, which precedes and goes like several hundreds, even 1,000 years ago, you can see like a specific cycle. Nothing interfered with the temperature besides just planet rotating around its axis. And that's why we have the changes to temperature, we have changes of climate zones. And obviously they had these ups and downs, they had ice ages and global warmings, but it had like a certain rate. It was like maybe once every 500 years, maybe once every 1,000 years. And when you get closer to the industrial age, you can see that this period is getting slower and slower. And once you get to 2023, you can see that it kind of spirals inwards. So instead of going like full circle, like it used to go, it just goes faster and faster and faster and faster. So that's one of the reasons to see that there is a change in the trends, there is a change in the dynamics. And obviously, if you live in the same area for 20 years, and yesterday it was plus 18 and tomorrow it's plus 19, you don't really see a change. On the local scale, yeah, sure. But when you take a global look, when you take a look at the global picture, you can see some trends.
Actually, I think even on the local scale, for example, I've lived in Moscow region for the past 20 years, and I definitely feel the difference in how cold or warm winters are, or summers. In my home region, where I originally from, also climate has changed since for the last 30 years to being more drier and with higher temperatures, definitely.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to skip the school because we had minus 35 degrees Celsius. I was born in the north near the White Sea, and now I never hear about these extreme temperatures. The lowest I think I heard was minus 20 just a year or two ago, but never minus 30, minus 35. But I was a kid there, I was going to school, and I had to stay at home because it was way too cold to go outside. And it was in the 90s. Now it doesn't happen.
Yeah, something similar happening in Moscow region also, I must say.
Yeah, but the most funny thing I think is it's all about cows. Cows and birds. They are at fault. They are the reason why we have this greenhouse
we
gases.
have 5 seconds, I guess.
Yeah, thank you.
I was glad to speak to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, everyone is back. Wow, amazing to see some faces. Finally, you turned on your camera. So when you're here, you don't keep your camera on. When you go to the groups, you keep your cameras on. What kind of discrimination is that? I feel super offended. Now everyone is here. Good, amazing. Okay. Okay, good guys. Hopefully you had a nice conversation. Hopefully you had a chance to discuss the environment and maybe learn something new. So is there somebody who wants to share what they learned? Did you learn something new? Did you have a nice discussion? Do you want to share something with us?
I wanted to share, it's not something new, but I think we forgot to mention it, that cows are responsible for pollution just as much as the industry. They have contributed a lot to the production of methane, which is a greenhouse gas.
Okay, yeah, that's, I at first heard cows, and I was like, how are cows responsible? But then I was like, okay, fair enough. Yeah, good, nice point. Somebody else. Maxim, you're lucky. Who is Maxim and why is he lucky? Maxim, raise your hand. Show yourself, the lucky person. Okay.
Because we talk about some situation and our room's closed.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, good. Okay, somebody else. Do you want to share something else, guys? Something else, guys. Sorry for making you speak here. That's the purpose of this meeting. A bit difficult topic. Yes, I agree. I agree. The topic is difficult. So next time we'll pick up something easier. Good. Next time we'll talk about the food, so bring your
so difficult. I think it's more like so sad topic. So sad thoughts.
Yeah.
It gives.
It's not about entertainment at all. It's about everyday problem, continuous problems for everybody, for everybody. And nobody cannot do anything.
Unfortunately, that's true. Unfortunately, the words and expressions, this is something that you need to know because you can hear them a lot. You can read them in the news. You will have to, one day you will have to talk about them. So that's still good. This vocabulary, like, it used to be a very specific vocabulary, but it's not anymore because this is the problem that affects like everyone. So yeah. Well, okay. Somebody else who wants to share something.
Actually, if you have watched movie Fight Club, there was an idea how can we solve that problem. We just need to return to very early ages of humanity.
Oh, no, I don't, sorry, I don't want to lose my right to education and my own money, so no.
No, those computers, no cars, no factories.
No women's rights, no rights of people with disabilities, no rights at all, voting age, bad medicine.
Reject the modernity, embrace the tradition.
Rights.
Good, okay, yeah, that's it.
It's not gonna work if you are not going to reduce population to an extent of
and you also
in the dark.
Actually, you need more people, more and more to live without those technology help.
And we also will die when we turn 30 or something, because that was the average lifespan of.
It is not necessary, but we will die if, for example, tomorrow there will be no internet at all.
Well, that depends. That depends.
No, you'll have to die.
I will probably die.
You'll have to die because there will be no.
Some of you are very pessimistic.
No, there will be no medical, we will lose medical progress also. So
imagine your life without ChatGPT. How would you survive?
Solution could be just more restrictive regulations for pollutants and enforcing some regulations for chemical industry.
I like what's going on in the chat. Vera says the perfect Friday evening, we will all die. Amazing. Good. Very sad. Okay, guys. Next.
Developing some bacteria which can recycle this plastics, or some organisms that can accumulate radioactive isotopes, so it can be
something scientific. Okay. We should create a speaking club, especially for like scientists, people who understand things, because I don't understand things. I'm a manager. Like I don't understand.
Zoya, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I think we should be Friday. Okay. Next time we will talk about food. So this is my favorite topic. I know a lot about it. So for sure, next class can be happy.
Which one?
Food.
Food.
Food is not food. Just don't come hungry. That's important. Good.
Talking about cows.
If that's it, we can cover it up. Poor cows. Yeah. Well, exactly. We'll be happy to talk about. I know. Me too. Good. Before we finish,
are you going to share some recipes with us?
Yeah, actually I have a fantastic recipe. So you take your phone, you open your delivery application, your favorite one, boom, works every time. No, I do have some recipes because okay, I'm gonna take it as a compliment. No, I do have a lot of recipes because I love to cook basically. So yeah, by the way, that's a good idea. So for one class we can talk about our favorite recipes. Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. We will. Good. Thanks for ideas. Good. Okay, guys, let's take a picture before we finish. So turn on your cameras. Next meeting will still be sad for Kyle. I'm sorry. You will have to be like, you have to be sad. You have to be sad. That's life. Life is saddening, unfortunately. Good. Turn on your camera.